Hey guys, so my second pre-reading strategy is going to be all about possible sentences. So now possible sentences is a pre-reading vocabulary strategy that activates students' prior knowledge and about content, area vocabulary, and concepts. Before we go into a text with our students, it's important to provide a short list of vocabulary words from their reading, which will be given to them from us. And then they will eventually use that to create sentences that are meaningful and helpful for them to remember. Some of the benefits of possible sentence is that they spark students' curiosity about their content words and reading. So in my content about social studies, we're going to be doing an example later, but this will be all more about sparking the engagement of students with social studies subjects, and it just helps them guess what these words mean to them. How to create and use this strategy is really important. So before the students read the text, you want to visually display the chosen vocabulary words that you want them to learn for that lesson. And then you ask students to define the words and pair related words together. For example, in social studies, we might have a word called map, and we might have other words such as treasure map, and anything else that relates to those words. And then the third step, you just ask the individuals, you can use the individuals and pairs to write sentences using their words and the chosen vocabulary words. And it's important to remind students that their sentences should be ones that they expect to see in the text as they read. And then you want to have students have the sentences be as accurate as possible. If they are incorrect, we want them to go back and we want to help them form a new sentence or maybe just reword their sentences to make sure it's meeting the definition standards. And then you also want to invite your students to share their sentences with the class, because with that engagement, it gets them really involved and makes them feel like what they have to say is very important. So now with this example, I am in the Families and Friends book. And on page 25, it talks about homes. And some of the words to learn are home, alone, map, holiday, jobs, and rules. And so these all have to deal with homes. And so one of the examples that I picked is with the vocab word of rules. So behind me, I have some sentences. It says rules. We have rules in my family. A rule tells us what you can do. A rule tells you what you cannot do. And this is on page 46. And now with this, we want the students to be able to have this example as well to help them maybe create a new sentence with the word rules. And now we would want to have them maybe even do individual work or group pair and maybe think about how are we going to write a sentence about a rule. We could also have a personal example to make them spark their interest even more by saying we have classrooms rules to keep us safe, which could be a great example for them to start out with. And then it could just make them explain maybe just home rules or anything else that they have in their lives that connects with that word of rules. And then once the class is done, we would share them, and I would make sure that the students have a good sentence and idea of the definition of rules and how we want to connect up back with the chapter of homes that I presented in this example. And now to finish up, it's just kind of important to have students to have never have incomplete sentences because you have to model that process for sentences. And it's also important that students can either share their sentences before or after they have read the text, which is super well and also supports a really great idea of team collaboration and engagement in the class. So I hope you guys learned a little bit more about possible sentences, and thanks for watching.